Talking now with Iowa State University Extension Farm Management Specialist Steve Johnson. And Steve, you have some information you're wanting to get out to farmers about the upcoming crop insurance deadlines, and that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Sure. The spring deadline for making decisions regarding traditional crops, again, is March 15th, but because March 15th falls on a Sunday, everyone will have an extra day, and that'll be Monday, March 16th. So any changes, any updates, any cancellations regarding 2009 crop insurance, you need to notify your crop insurance agent by Monday, March 16th.
And looking at some of the changes this year from 09 or 08 to 09, farmers may want to be looking at the revenue assurance programs rather than GRIP as they may have in the past.
Yeah, I think there's enough changes that this would be a great year to schedule an appointment, get with your crop insurance agent way in advance of that March 16th, but specifically changes to, again, how the fall price is calculated. We used to have a cup and cap on CRC and GRIP, and those are gone. It's just simply twice the spring price is the maximum fall price for RA with the harvest price option, CRC, as well as the GRIP policy. I think the biggest change, though, for 2009 is this enterprise unit. The government's going to increase the subsidy on both enterprise and whole farm units, but I think there's a lot of interest nationwide on what we call enterprise units, where you group all your fields together in a county. You use your own farm's APHs, but again, I really sense a lot of people looking hard at enterprise units.
Okay. When you're looking at, and probably next week or this week or next week is when farmers need to be getting in there to talk to their crop insurance agents, because as you mentioned earlier, the 16th is going to be a busy day.
Yeah, and we now know what those spring base prices are, and again, that's the prices that determine, again, the guarantees, and that's $4.04 for corn, that's $8.80 for soybeans, that's $6.20 for spring wheat, and that's $3.56 for grain sorghum. Now, the Risk Management Agency will be finalizing all the details for the premium. So, yeah, I'd go ahead and contact my crop insurance agent as soon as I could, get an appointment, but go in and start pricing different products, different levels of coverage, because the prices have fallen, again, around 25% on corn in 1 year, and for soybeans around 34%. I think a lot of producers will want to increase their level of coverage for 2009 because their costs have gone up, their risks have gone up, but the price has dropped. So I would expect a lot of people pricing higher levels of coverage and then using a combination of enterprise units as opposed to a traditional optional or basic units, which basically was insuring an individual farm or, again, all farms in a section of land. But there's also the biotech endorsement that's coming for 2009. Again, we saw that in 4 major states, the I-states plus Minnesota last year, but now 11 states qualify for the biotech endorsement. But by and large, the largest savings in 9 crop insurance is going to be moving to these enterprise units. And then I want to encourage everyone that uses a traditional RA with a harvest price option, price CRC. Again, those products are almost identical in 2009. And then if you're already going to purchase 75% of biotech seed, that go ahead and apply for the biotech endorsement to do a good job of keeping records, because by the planning certification date in June and July, you're going to have to turn in all seed receipts, and again, you're subject to spot check. Make sure you're keeping good records to know that you're putting those biotech traits in a unit. That's very important in 2009.
Okay. You also mentioned there's some things that farmers need to check back in about acre with their local FSA office, too, because of the stimulus package.
Yeah. Actually, the issue that's changed isn't acre, it's SURE. It's supplemental revenue. There were some changes with SURE.
Sure. Okay.
That came about on the 16th of February that allows producers an extra 90 days to buy in for SURE coverage. And what I've read to date would allow extra period of time should you decide to buy in to NAP or CAT coverage for 2008. Most everybody had that deadline of September 16th, 2008 for 2008 coverage. That's now been extended by 90 days. So again, if you have any questions regarding Sure coverage, you'll need to make sure you provide those to your county FSA office. But we're still trying to interpret what the intent of that law was, and we believe it was to open up the window of opportunity for producers so that they could go ahead and, again, buy in for Sure and NAP coverage for 2008 and possibly 2009.
Okay, and just to clarify, that was for the Sure program, the disaster payments.
No regs on acre yet. As of first few days of March, we've not seen anything other than we know what years they're using. They're going to use the 2007, 2008 crop years, and we're going to be guaranteed a price, at least to date, of $4.05 per bushel corn. The acre program in 2009, and $9.67.5 per bushel soybean, $6.20 per bushel for wheat. So again, we're going to have high revenue guarantees for this acre program, and we're going to build a lot of interest in acre. We think sign-up begins at FSA offices mid-April with June 1st deadline to date. Again, we think farmers will have to prove 5 years of yield, but we don't know what those regulations are. So be thinking by FSA farm number of how you go about verifying and quantifying yields for the last 5 years, most recent 5 years, 2004 to 2008, for the acre program sign-up that we think will begin mid-April.
Okay, what about the gap, the gap years in there for people that have been on GRIP you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I was just at the Commodity Classic, presented a program with the National Corn Growers Association, and FSA plans to release that information, what they call the plug yields, the county plug yields for any years that you can't prove yields for those 5 years, the most recent 5 years. So we think those regulations will be forthcoming. Again, we don't know exactly when that date is coming. I'm encouraging all producers that I see, think about pulling settlement sheets, getting settlement sheets together for the last 5 years, and then don't get particular about the farms yet. Wait and see what FSA is going to accept. But I think it'll be a combination of settlement sheets, grain bin measurements, and then an allocation that you'll have to make, because very few times can you match your crop insurance APH data, your yield monitor data back up to an FSA farm number. We're probably going to have to be reporting net production by crop by year, and that has to align with a FSA or a farm serial number. So again, I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but probably well worth it, especially if you think we're heading for lower prices. You likely want to be in the acre program in 2009.
Okay. That's Steve Johnson, Farm Management Specialist with Iowa State University, and thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.